Adam sighed as he removed his helmet. Indara had gotten far too drunk during the celebration with her family, so he had elected to come alone. He rationalized that, although this was a dumb idea, the plates on his suit and the custom HSP9 PDW on his belt would serve as more than enough defense if something went bad. He checked the time on his omnipad before reattaching it to his belt. It was 2 minutes to midnight, the universal meeting time for illicit deals, discussions and activities in his brain. He hoped Sir Miller thought the same as he did, being both ex-Special Forces and a current crime boss. Crime boss with a heart of gold, he thought with a chuckle, returning his helm to his head as he activated his jump kit. Couldn't be more of a stereotype if she tried. He strode back several paces on the roof and sprinted for the edge, the jump kit sending him soaring over the double-lane street below, before hitting the smooth metal roof of the bar. Standing up from his roll, he surveyed the surrounding area. Like the building across the street, the parapet was littered with laser fire pockmarks and holes in the weaker areas. There was a small hatch near the center of the roof, probably the entrance, if he had to guess. Crossing his arms and standing enough into the roof that he was out of view to the street below, he got ready to wait. Thankfully, mere seconds after he prepared to busy his mind, the hatch clanked open, and Sir Miller popped her head out. She stared at him for several moments, a slack-jawed grin forming on her face as she looked him up and down while extricating herself from the hole. She strode up to him with an appraising gaze, circling as she did. Adam knew she wasn't a wilting violet when it came to a fight, and he kept his guard up and jump kit on. He trusted Sir Miller about as far as he could throw her, which, for a 7'4" space orc, wasn't far. He'd heard of the Advanced Reconnaissance Infantry before. Several of his selection class had been pulled from their ranks, but until tonight, he didn't really understand who they were. If he had to equate them to a human unit from his old life, all the information he could find on the datanet put them at the same level as Marine Force Recon, or his personal alma mater, Ranger Regiment. "Empress, Adam," she said, chuckling, coming to a stop several yards from him. "You cut a hell of a figure in that armor." "I'm glad you like it. Let's talk about what you found," he deadpanned, uncrossing his arms. "Where's your team? I thought you said you were bringing the ones you trust," she replied, surveying the area with a raised brow. Unfortunately, the Duchess and her daughter both decided to attend some bullshit function thrown by a friend, or so the message from Cell told me, he said with a shrug. Classy had a bit too much to drink at the party, couldn't make it, so it's just me tonight. "Who's that then?" she asked, pointing to the rooftops behind him. Adam turned his helmeted head as a figure slid behind the open doorway on the roof from the firefight. He had a sneaking suspicion and activated his friendly tracker to find the blue dot and Chilvanti writing that read, Slip. "Hey, Slip, I thought you were busy. Come on over," he said after opening a private channel. "This could actually use a second opinion." "Fuck," muttered Slip over the radio. "How did she see me?" "Good question," replied Adam, as he turns back to Sir Miller. "Turns out I brought a +1. He heard the pat and clatter of Slip hitting the roof and rolling before she strode up next to him. "So, want to tell me why we're meeting the bar owner on a rooftop in the middle of the night with our support?" Slip asked coldly. "Sir Miller here thinks the Duchess might be connected to the Silver Suns. Is the leader want to run down?" "Oh, for fuck's sake," blustered Sir Miller jokingly. "I know you guys have the voice scramblers built in so you can discuss classified info in the field when on private channels. But come on, we're all on the same side here." Adam sighed and pulled off his helmet, holding it at his side with his left arm before looking at Slip, who groaned and pulled her own off in short order. "Well?" Slip asked impatiently, watching Sir Miller as the ex-ARI canted ahead thoughtfully, before bursting out laughing. "What?" Slip asked angrily. "Got something you want to say, fat tits?" "First," said Sir Miller between bouts of laughter, "you owe me 100 credits. Second, that's not an insult." "Why the fuck do I owe you 100 credits?" asked Slip, clearly baffled. 4 years ago, Gretic District, you stole a wallet outside of the schoolhouse," the woman replied, still laughing. "Varam gave me a heap of shit when I got home that the indomitable Sergeant Major Sir Miller got her pocketbook fleeced by a dirt-covered teen." "Wait, no," said Slip, now grinning. "Parade uniform? ARI bands?" "That was me," Sir Miller replied with a smile. "Goddess, that feels like ages ago. How'd you wind up in the Death's Head?" Sir Miller queried. "I pickpocketed my CO. She was impressed, pulled me into selection. Now I'm here. You want to tell me why you're messing with my man at midnight on a deserted roof in the bad part of town? Not as bad as it used to be, I've seen to that. And I'm here to give him this, she said, handing a small drive over to Adam. I always believe it's best to form opinions with the present intel as opposed to conjecture. You know how I feel, Adam. Stay safe and raise me if you need anything, said Samilla, before she turned and retreated back into the roof hatch. What happened to watching Nixie? Adam asked when they were alone on the roof. They're both together. I wasn't really needed with the team and her guards here. Classy called and told me you were sneaking out and she was too drunk to effectively follow. The fuck happened at that party? Classy and I nearly killed Princess Artuina. The Empress showed up, dropped her 500-pound dick on the princess's head, and now I'm 10 million credits richer. Still have no idea how to use your credits, though. No one's given me one of them shits to use the account. Not that I've really needed to. He nonchalantly shrugged as he finished. What? Damn it. Fuck, stuttered Slip. Adam, what the hell happened? Oh yeah. Arduino got pissy because I'm not a Shilvanti noble Mel, backhanded me and tried to have me removed from the party. The Empress walked in right before people started to die. On the bright side, she welcomed me to the family, as well as Class's Aunt Cammy. You mean Princess Kamalesh, head of Imperial Special Operations in the Blackstone Academy? Asked Slip with an open mouth. Yeah, her, Adam answered with a dismissive wave, placing his helmet back in his head. She's actually pretty cool off duty, but she's got a bit of a drinking problem. For the love of, replied Slip tiredly, putting on her own helm. I get that you're about to be Mr. Prince by marriage, but you need to watch what you say. Well, I'm not entirely sure how royal marriages work, but it looks like a hell of a lot if we're all going to be royals by marriage if we keep this up, Adam said with a chuckle. You going back to the Duchess's place with me, or heading back to the rest of the pod? I was kind of hoping you'd come with me for something, she said softly over the shared comms. Yeah, sure. What's up? Adam asked, turning to face his girlfriend. Look, my dad lives near here, about 3 kilometers that way, she said, pointing behind him. And, well, I need to see him. Isn't he a scum-sucking piece of garbage that treated you like dirt your entire life? Adam asked angrily, mentally preparing himself for more family drama tonight. He is, but he's my only family. That has to count for something. It's been 4 years and I've changed. Maybe he has too. Fair enough. Lead the way, said Adam, extending a hand. Should we change first? No. I want him to see me as I am. Cryptic, Adam replied teasingly, earning a punch to his shoulder between his armor. Come on, said Slip with a chuckle. Just like the simulation. With more daddy issues, joked Adam. Fuck off, laughed Slip, before taking a running leap off the building, standing over the street to the top of a 4-story shopping centre. Adam quickly followed suit, getting on Slip as she obviously slowed her pace so he could catch up under the moonlight. The citizens of Krentori sped by under them on roadways, sidewalks, and the occasional bridge between buildings. Every once in a while, Adam picked up on someone below glancing his way in shock as he sailed over the roofs with Slip, whose movements became even more fluid the closer they got to the section of the city she grew up in. In truth, if it weren't for their armor, he sincerely doubted he would be able to keep up with the speedy woman as she sped through alleyways, up walls, and across centuries-old arches that marked the favela they were rapidly entering. The city here had a sort of rugged beauty to it, as opposed to the highly uniform glimmering purple, black and grey of the merchant and wealthy districts of town. The ramshackle apartment buildings, along with the numerous hastily constructed additions, all seemed to be painted a different, more vibrant colour than the last. In the alleys that they sometimes dipped into, Adam saw some of the graffiti which he immediately connected with the artwork on Slip's suit. He paused at a large purple picture of a curved sword on the wall, its blade morphing into a crown midway through, full of multicoloured jewels. Shit, that's he said, as he paused his run momentarily to admire the artwork, only to notice something familiar. He pulled off his helmet, spending a second to compare the style of the skull to the artwork on the wall. Hey, Slip, he said over the radio after reaffixing his helmet. This yours? What? Where are you? Oh, there you are. Hang on, I'm coming, came her reply over the radio. Several seconds later, Adam heard the soft pat of her boots landing on the concrete near the mouth of the alley. He was leaned up against the wall opposite the yacht, the flashlight built into his helmet illuminating the wall. What's up? She asked, sounding slightly out of breath. This, Adam said, gesturing to the wall. The style looks familiar. No way. I thought someone would have covered this up by now, Slip said, pushing past Adam with clear excitement as she ripped her helmet off, her shoulder-length hair spilling out as he followed suit. She walked up to the mural and ran her hand across it reverently. I did this when I was 6. I tried to start a gang with the other street kids and we started throwing these up all over the sector. You're in a gang? Adam asked with a laugh. I was 6, Adam, she replied with a smirk. The worst we ever did was steal snacks from the corner store or a wallet if we felt really brave, but we thought we were so hardcore at the time. Sounds like a good time. I remember when I was... He paused to translate human years into Shovanti. When I was 7 or 8, me and my buddies would sneak out and use Tommy's truck to ride out to Calhan and go cow tipping. The fuck is cow tipping? Slip asked with a confused expression. It's like, well, it's when you sneak onto a farmer's field when the cows are sleeping, standing up, and you run up to them and just shove them over, he answered, miming a shove as Slip giggled at him, his face rapidly heating. Babe, I've done some dumb shit in my time, but even I can see that's fucking stupid, said Slip, barely holding in laughter long enough to get the sentence out, before she burst out giggling and holding her stomach. I know, said Adam, chuckling as well. There isn't much to do when you live in bumfuck nowhere as a teen. Suddenly, Slip moved closer to him, grabbed the top of his chest plate, and pulled his lips down to hers. Adam instinctively moved his arms around her waist as she moved hers behind his neck. So, that was... sudden, Adam said, as he gazed into her golden irises from inches away. I know, I just saw you and you made me laugh, and I don't have the words. She took a deep breath and closed her eyes for a second. Thank you. I don't think I'd have had the test to talk to Dad again without you. It's all good. I'm here to help in any way I can, he replied with a gentle smile, still staring into her eyes before she planted another small kiss on his lips. Just be you, she said, pulling away gently and refitting her helmet. That's all I ever need. Adam didn't have a good way to respond to that deep of an emotion off the cuff. He let it hang in the air as the pair moved for the alley, to the roof, and then battered across a narrow street before landing in an exposed apartment hallway on the second floor of a dingy building. Slip took off her helmet as Adam leaned up against the opposite wall from the door that she was standing in front of. Nervous? He asked, as she continued to stare at the Shovanti numerals for 204 that sat in the middle of the door. Yes? Is that a question or an answer? He chortled, as he watched her breathe deeply. Fuck off, she jokingly chided, holding a sleeved and gloved hand to the door. I'm working on it. Take your time, killer, Adam responded, smiling under his helmet. She rapped the door 3 times, loudly, stepping back from it as she stood, softly bouncing on the balls of her feet. Think he'll be up? Adam asked. If I know Dad, he probably won't go to sleep until the morning, but you need... Slip was cut off as the door opened rapidly, a Shovanti male looking at both of them with an appraising gaze before he opened his mouth. Whatever it is you're here to arrest me for, I didn't do it, he stated in a raspy voice, pulling an imperial cigarette to his mouth. We're not here to arrest you, Dad, Slip said matter-of-factly, giving her best smile. Fucking hell. Talk about Slip winning the damn genetic lottery compared to this fucker, Adam thought, looking at the gaunt, overwhelming, overbite-having, confused-looking man in front of them. Fuck, Riley? He said in a disdainful tone. I thought you'd be dead by now.